Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this, thank you very much for tuning in to see what I have to say today. And I'm quite interested to see what I have to say today because I have not planned anything. I just want to come on and do a bit of an energy update and also an introduction to Lionsgate and tell you a few bits and bobs of energetic downloads that I have been receiving. And yeah, I'm back from London. Had a most amazing weekend up there with my family. I love London. It always puts a smile on my face. So whatever else is said out there about our beautiful capital city, there is still the most extraordinary vibe pulsing through her. Oh yes, there is. Walking through Covent Garden, Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus, Regent Street, Marylebone. Oh my God, it was just amazing. And that was before I even went and saw ABBA, ABBA Voyage. I don't know what to say other than what I have already said in my community post. It lifted my soul. It lasered in on the hole in my soul. And no, that is nothing to do with the fact that I am broken or compromised or anything like that. It is a reference to one of ABBA's songs, Hole in My Soul, I think it's called. And that's what music does. It's able to fill something, an emptiness that you didn't even know was there. I just adore the energy of music to be able to do that. And ABBA are right up there, rightfully so, as one of the biggest groups that probably we will ever see in our lifetime anyway. So yeah, I loved it. I just loved it. Anyhow, guys, trying to come back down to earth now. But I wanted to come on to, I suppose sort of introduce and talk about the energy of Lionsgate. I always honour it. I always do a video around Lionsgate. That is not this one. That will be next week because Lionsgate is on the 8th. It's 8/8 energy, but we are in the build up to it. We are in the corridor that takes us to 8/8. And I think it's brilliant actually that I've come back feeling so buoyed up with enthusiasm and passion and a bit of a roar in my voice. So hopefully I will help you to get there as well by the time that we get through Lionsgate next week. So I'm going to pull some cards in terms of where we are at energetically before we start the whole process off. I'll do that in a moment. I've got a couple of decks that I want to use here. Also, before I forget, I am doing a webinar on the 4th of August, so next Monday, 6 p.m. GMT. All of the details for it are on my website, which will be linked below, angeliccelestialcolours.co.uk. The webinar is going to be an introduction to creating grids, healing grids. Now, if you have watched me for a number of months, weeks, or years, you will know that normally here there is a grid set up. I suppose there is today, but it's not formalised yet. Whenever I do any work, any subject that I touch on, I always create a grid which operates as a portal point for the energies to come through. It might be linked into healing, it might be linked into raising awareness on something. It could be in honour of a particular celebration or feast day or portal. It varies. And over the years, I have always used them in my professional life and also in my personal life. So I just felt as though I wanted to share some of what I've learnt, and it's not going to be a structured thing in terms of you have to do it this way. My ethos is very much about helping you to step into your own creativity and bring in all of your passion and gifts and little bits and bobs that you can put onto grids, and talk about the symbolism of why we do it and what they're for and how they can help. So if you're interested in that, details below in the description box. Okay, so before we get into cards, also, because I haven't been able to post that regularly on YouTube for a few weeks, just because I've got a lot of stuff going on, in other places, there's a few downloads that I've been getting, and I want to just tell you what they are now, okay? And in no particular order, okay? And some of this references work that I've done years ago. And this first one is work that I did years ago. Ghislaine Maxwell, okay, back in the news, probably for all the wrong reasons. But I did a reading on Ghislaine Maxwell. Shall I just have a look at how long ago it was, actually? Because this is the thing. When you're working with Archangel Metatron, often I say things like years before, and then people forget what I've even said. I forget what I've said half the time. This was 5 years ago, for goodness sake. I did a reading on Ghislaine Maxwell, and there was a phrase that I always remember. I said that I felt she would sing like a canary. Do you remember me saying that? I thought she would sing like a canary, given the right circumstances. And I think we are at that time, my friends. I think we are at that time. Hopefully the canary will be allowed to sing. And indeed, I'm recording this days after she has given some new statements to whoever it is in American government, but it hasn't been released yet in terms of what was said. But that's the first thing. So that prediction, I suppose it was, about Ghislaine singing like a canary seems as though it is going to be coming true. I will just pull 2 cards on that. I don't want to get into the whole thing about her and the list in this particular video. I might do a dedicated video to it, but let's just have a look. Let's just use the After Tarot and see what wants to be said with regards to Ghislaine Maxwell. And those 2 cards have come out, for example. We've got the Queen of Wands and the 2 of Cups. Can you see that little card poking out there, top of the head, top of the deck, which is the Tower, and we've also got the energy of the Fool. So effectively, this is her and Epstein, okay? The 2 that felt as though they could rule the world when it was their time. There she is, Queen of Wands. She's bringing the tower down, basically. She is willing to bring the whole tower down. And we have the energy of the Fool, because in her head, she just wants a clean start. I think she's misguided enough to feel as though she can just dump all of this, get it all off her chest, reveal all of her secrets, and then somehow she's going to be sailing off into the sunset with a new identity, a new life, and a new chapter. Personally, I feel as though she should pay for her crimes. But that's just my moral code. But anyway, those are the cards for her. They probably don't say anything that we weren't expecting them to say, but it is confirmation. So that's the first thing to say. She's going to be singing like a canary, and has. What else is going on in our world? We have Trump's visit in Scotland right now. Whether you like Trump, whether you don't like Trump, I do quite like the fact that he tells it as it is sometimes, and I'm particularly linking into the energy of what he said about Sadiq Khan yesterday. Some of you won't have seen that. Maybe you're in America, you haven't seen it. Sadiq Khan. I'm just back from London, okay? I love London. I believe in London. I will always fly a flag for London, but he's a controversial figure. Many people feel as though he has ruined London. And what do I want to say? Let's just pull some cards. I'm not going to say anything. Let me pull some cards on Sadiq Khan. I personally, and this is my personal view, which I'm allowed to have before I get attacked, I personally like the fact that Trump called him out yesterday. And the fact that Keir Starmer was literally squirming in his seat. Have you seen the footage? And as Trump is going off on one, as he does, about, Khan being a nasty person, which I don't think he should have said, really. You can say you disagree with somebody, but to get personal isn't really good, I don't think, at a diplomatic level. But Starmer sort of interjected and said something along the lines of, oh, but he's my friend. I'm hearing I'll scratch your back and you'll scratch mine, Starmer and Khan. But anyway, yeah, Trump ruffling feathers over here. And I think he's back in September for a state visit, isn't he? Anyhow, let's just pull some cards with regards to Sadiq Khan. Okay. I want to keep this light today, even though we're talking about some contentious subjects, because my mood is light. We've got the Ten of Swords that have come out for Sadiq Khan, and we've got the King of Cups, which I feel is Trump, actually. Trump calling him out. I can't see that Sadiq Khan's tenure as Mayor of London is about to be over. I think he's there for a number of years yet. But we've got the Ten of Swords. That King of Cups is definitely Trump. Unless, let me see what star sign Sadiq Khan is. Because I don't know. He feels quite scorpionic, but that might just be perception. I don't know. He's Aries. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. He's Aries. Hold on. Birth chart of Sadiq Khan. Hold on, I've got two different versions here. Let me just see what this one says. No, sorry, forget that. He's Libra. Really? He's October the 8th, 1970. He's Libra with moon in Capricorn. Okay, I was totally wrong. He's a metal dog. He's a birth path 8. I'm a birth path 8. He's 3 years younger than me. He's my generation. Is he misunderstood? You see, there's parts of London that absolutely love him. He's been voted in a number of times, as has Trump. Let me just pull a card. So that's not him. He's not water. That's definitely Trump, King of Cups. Trump wants to end him. That's what it is. Trump wants to end him. I'm laughing because I'm sorry, I can't take a lot of this seriously anymore. I don't get invested, and I don't get my knickers in a twist over it. You know, I really don't. I truly don't. And if you do, I'm sorry. And if I'm triggering you, I'm sorry. But I'm not going to bring my energy down to your level of wanting to get into the division and the separation. I'm just not. So we've got Trump, King of Cups, shooting his arrows at Khan. Yeah, absolutely. Nine of Swords. In Trump's view, Trump wants to give Khan his biggest headache, basically. And it'd be really interesting when they meet. I assume they're going to meet in London at the state dinner or whatever it's going to be come September. That's going to be interesting to be a fly on the wall there. But I think they both will just brazen it out, basically. Well, we know there's no love lost here between the two of them. Let me just have a look at it from Sadiq Khan's perspective to Trump. Sadiq Khan to Trump, the Hierophant, strength. That's really interesting. I find that fascinating because that's not what I was expecting to see. I'm hearing he knows he's met his match. Wow, I wasn't expecting that at all. The Hierophant and strength is how he's viewing Trump. He's a strong leader. He knows that. He knows that he could leave him out in the cold, the Five of Pentacles. The Chariot and the World. He knows that Trump is relentless and is not going to stop the attacks. Right or wrong, he's not going to stop the attacks. It's personal. Trump wants to finish Finish Khan off. I'm telling you, got this absolutely very clearly here. So what strategy will Sadiq Khan adopt? I know he has come out fighting in public, but the cards are saying something different here. We've got the Four of Swords. What policy will he adopt? Yeah, you see, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling an energy of just let it blow over, keep quiet, keep your head down. Make of that what you will. I know the public fight that there may very well be between these two men might be something different to what's going on beneath the surface, certainly with regards to Sadiq Khan and how he truly feels about it. But yeah, Trump is not to be messed with when it comes to Sadiq Khan. Yeah, okay. I've shuffled the deck and I've still got the Ten of Swords and the Strength card, the ending and strength. I feel as though Trump's working behind the scenes to interfere and bring down Sadiq Khan. Trump has, I'm just feeling something here. Trump has close ties, not just with Scotland, but with London. Trump has dealings in London. He might have money in London. He has associates in London. He has vested interests in London. He really cares, actually, about the UK. I'm really feeling that. And I'm sorry, please don't get triggered. I'm not a huge Trumper, or MAGA fan. I'm just not. I'm just reading the energy, okay, before we go any further. I am feeling here, I'm tuning into Trump. He has a genuine love for the UK. He had a genuine love for the Queen. That was not fake. He genuinely likes King Charles. He really likes Prince William and Princess Catherine. He likes the royal family. He likes what we're about. And he doesn't like the way we're heading. And he sees Sadiq Khan as a figurehead energy that is leading the country in the wrong direction. And he wants to take him down. Okay, I don't want this whole video to be about Trump and Khan, so we're going to move on. I did say I just wanted this video to go where it wanted to go, though, so that's the first thing that's come through. Okay. Let's see where the energy wants to go now. Where am I being led to go now, please, Spirit? Archangel Metatron, where would you like me to go now with regards to targeted message? So I'm hearing the word borders. And I've just looked at the bottom of this deck and we've got the Stag, Pride and Leadership. But this stag makes me think of Scotland and the Highlands of Scotland. A move towards Scottish independence again, coming soonish. I mean, it never really went away, but could be that. Obviously, there is also the energy of borders per se in our world. And this is a huge subject for many countries. I think what I'd like to say from a spiritual perspective here is that there may very well be valid concerns with regards to unregulated immigration. I live in a town right now where I can see with my own eyes that there are changes coming in, not all of them good, as a result of a number of hotels that are springing up. And I'll be careful how I say these things now on YouTube, because it's a very hot subject. You see, another thing I respected about Trump yesterday is he was talking about freedom of speech. Have you got freedom of speech in the UK? And Keir Starmer straight away pipes up with, oh yes, we're very proud of it. There are people in prison in the UK for having an opinion that doesn't meet with the government's set standards. There isn't freedom of speech in the UK at the moment. That is the truth. There isn't. The fact I even have to be careful how I say this, even though I haven't got a malicious bone in my body, and I certainly haven't got a racist bone in my body either. But, and I did say this on my other social media recently, as a mother to young daughters, to walk through a local park and feel the energy of it's not quite safe to walk there. I'm an empath. I understand energy. And that is a real thing that is happening. Increased crime, increased assaults, etc. against women. But having said all of that, which I find totally and utterly repugnant, that young men coming into our country cannot understand the age of consent that is here, the rules of common decency that are here with regards to how you treat women, how you approach women, when no means no. We must not assume that all seeking refuge in our country are like that, because they're not. And one of the things, having been in London, was that I personally appreciate a multicultural country and capital city. I find it enriching. That is my view. And if people genuinely have need of refuge, then from a spiritual perspective, we should give them such. But there has to be acclimatisation into the country and culture where you land. There has to be respect for that country and culture and land and its people and its traditions. And it shouldn't be offensive to say that. Strikes me that a violet pill type approach, which isn't neutrality, but which is trying to find a middle way path through all this, is very needed, because the issue of borders isn't going to go away anytime soon. I've said over a number of years that we're going to end up with wars based around more natural resources. And I say more natural resources because we've had many wars based around things such as fuel and oil. But I'm talking about water. What happens when countries start to dry up? What happens to the people? So there's going to have to be an intelligent approach to this. But there has to be acclimatisation and integration into a country. And not a loss of identity. So this all got rather deep rather quick. Wasn't expecting to talk about any of that today, but so be it, it wanted to come through. Let's pull a card on it, please. The energy of borders. We've got the energy of the High Priestess, and we've got the energy of risk. The High Priestess says discernment, prophecy, vision, and presence. And we have the energy of risk. The High Priestess is where something is veiled that you can't see. There is a risk of allowing anybody without any vetting, without any vetting into a community, is there not? I mean, it's not rocket science. That should be something we all should agree on. Taking it into a different arena of life. Would you think it okay to have a child ex-offender housed right next to a school, for example? So, difficult issues. We have the High Priestess and we have the energy of risk. What else is to say, please, Metatron? We have the energy of the Queen and the Deer. And we have the energy of truth and the bridge. It's interesting that we have a card which has a bridge on it as we're discussing this really difficult subject, which I'm probably going to have to turn comments off for now. But the Queen and the Deer. The Queen is about feminine power, fertility, and the Deer is about gentleness and diplomacy. It's sort of agreeing with what I just said, which is that somehow we have to have a middle way through all of this. That voices of resolution and peace need to sit maybe with more strident voices that are challenging, such as, for example, Trump's. And we need to come to some type of consensus together as communities. And I'm hearing that communities will do this anyway. It's going to organically develop, whereby anything that is being decided at a collective level with regards to community has to take ownership of any problem that they have in their midst. And that they will. That's as far as I want to go with that. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for this video because it didn't quite go where I thought it was going to go, and I don't feel as I want to introduce Lionsgate on the back of this particular discussion. But I am going to be brave enough to put this video up and likely deal with the flack that comes from it. So actually, let's just end with a card from the Christ Consciousness deck. Lionsgate, after all, is being brave enough to voice your truth. We're all scared to death of voicing our truth. And then there is control and apparatus put upon us to silence us a lot of the time. But we also silence each other. The cards that are flipped out is the open door and the heart. What would love do? And it's interesting because borders are about doors. Open door policy. Open door policy. Come, whoever you are. Yeah? What would love do? You see, straight away, there is one side of the camp that would say, well, what love would do is just have an open door and everybody can come in. Ad infinitum. It doesn't matter that a country is maybe full and can't already cope. Just keep coming, keep coming. We're an island, for example. How soon do we sink? The other side of the debate would say to the same two cards, yes, there is an open door policy. What would love do? Love would offer an opportunity and a chance. But if that opportunity and chance is disrespected, then the door would be closed again. Yeah? So the door is actually an in and out door. I'm seeing it as a revolving door is what Spirit is showing me. And this is true of life generally. We're given an opportunity, we're given a chance, but if we don't take it and improve our life and the life of others, maybe what is being offered to us can be taken away again. I don't know. Do you know, I'm going to end with an inspiring story. I was watching a cookery show actually on Sunday. I can't remember what this man is called. If you know him, and I've left the comments on, put it below. But he was an example of a genuine immigrant fleeing a war war-torn country, needing help and refuge, he came to the United Kingdom. And he took the opportunity of the open door and he came in. And I believe he left his wife. He was a Syrian refugee. And he owned a successful restaurant, I think maybe a number of restaurants in Damascus. And he lost it all in 6 days when the war came. So he came to the UK. He left his wife and children for about a year. He actually could name the number of days they were apart. And he's built up a beautiful restaurant in the West End of London. And he's written a really inspiring book full of beautiful recipes from his land. And he employs a load of people. And he's loved by his community. And he's completely and utterly inspiring. That's the type of story, success story, that should be heard and promoted more. Because you see, we're just hearing about all of the awful stuff. And I'm not saying don't give voice to the awful stuff. I'm incensed that young men can be housed in my town and go out and assault and abuse young girls. Why would I not be incensed by that? Why would I not be incensed by that? As a mother, I'm absolutely bloody furious about that. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to close the door on other people who are genuinely seeking refuge and are wanting to offer something back to the community that is good. So I think this open door, I'm actually seeing it as a revolving door. If you come in and, you're offered love and hope and positivity, and you can bring that in also with you and offer that back, all well and good. If you can't, and you're bringing misery and destruction and death and assault, why would you expect the door to not just hit you on your way out? So that might not be what you expect me to say, but it is what I truly feel. And I feel it is the most spiritual response that I can give you, because these are hugely challenging, difficult subjects that we are looking at in our world right now. And we have to have honest discussions about them. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to now get on with preparing for this webinar next week. Got lots of other stuff going on. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate you all. Take great care. And remember to honour and respect each other, and to try to model the template of what we want to see in others as well. Thank you very much. Take great care. Bye-bye for now. Bye.